Chrysler whooping it up because it says it is paying those loans that we gave it back. $5.1 billion in loans, to be exact. Not all the money we gave them, but a better deal than a lot of, well, Chrysler dealers got. Nearly 800 of them forced to close. So while taxpayers just got burnt, let's just say politely, this particular former owner just got screwed. With me now, the former Chrysler dealer, Jim Anderer. He sells Mitsubishis now. So you saw this whooping up today. Were you bitter?
No. I'm not bitter. I mean, you can't go back in time. It happened. You got to get it past you. I mean, listen, and I blame it on Obama. I really do. He was the captain at the ship, and he basically destroyed pretty much 240,000 Americans' lives, and that's something he's got to live with.
We should explain.
Along with his auto task force.
Right. But we should explain, a lot of people aren't familiar with this, in the restructuring, the taxpayer-funded bankruptcy filing of Chrysler.
Right.
Hundreds of dealerships were shut down, including yours.
Right.
It seems without any rhyme or reason, because some were very successul, like yours.
Yeah,
others,
internal corporate politics within Chrysler.
Fine. And others that were not successful were kept open. Having said that, the president will likely argue, the White House will likely argue, well, in the end, we have a stronger, more vibrant Chrysler. So for the structure to survive, some had to die. You had to die.
Well, that's not true. I mean, that's just not the correct way to phrase it, best way to put it. There was no reason for a guy like me who was, you know, in the top 1% of the nation.
Did they ever tell you what? I know you're suing. Where does that say?
No.
They never told you why.
They don't have a reason. It's internal corporate politics.
But did politics have anything to say at the time?
Not national politics. Not Democrat, Republican. Internal corporate politics.
Well, you as a dealer, did you answer to anyone? Dealers are self-owned, aren't they? I mean,
yeah, we're independent. We're our own business. We take care of our customers on our own way, and we have to go by certain factory guidelines. But in our particular
case... So why
case,
couldn't you say, well, I'm going to keep my doors open?
Well, you can't. They won't pay you for warranty work. They won't send you cars.
All right, you got me there.
I mean, you're a franchise.
That's a problem. Okay,
you know,
all right, you got me there. So Chrysler's back, or says it's back, paying its loans back, effectively with one credit line to pay off another credit line. Be that as it may.
You got that right.
Well, it is true.
You got that right.
So what are we to take for the GM and Chrysler bailouts?
Well, you know, when you think about government conceptually, is that the function of government? Is it the function of government to bail out private business? I don't care how big it is or how small it is, or how it will affect the segment of a particular section of our finance industry or not. The problem is that is not the function of government.
But if they're thriving today, or that's their argument, if they say they're thriving today, and they say you're wrong.
Neil, if the government gave you $50 billion to open up pizza places across the country, you think you'd be successful?
I would just keep the money. So you're saying that this is just a false prop-up.
The government is not a bank. The government is not supposed to be financing private enterprise. It's not a function of a government. It's not in the Constitution. It's not a function of government. This is against everything that America represents.
But the die is cast. The die is cast. Are you worried that people will read their success and say, well, it's proof the die works?
But it always will work if you take that scenario. If you take the scenario that the government's always going to bail out a failing business, sure, you can prop up that business with taxpayer money, and it will always work. But getting to Chrysler specifically, all right, I don't believe that they're out of the woods yet. Okay. General Motors is close to being there. But let's understand each other. All right, Chrysler is just refinancing their debt. They're not reducing their debt. Okay, they're going from 12% to 6%, which is an absolute shock to me that any bondholder, after the way the last bondholders were screwed in that bankruptcy, and could happen within a couple of years if there's a double dip. I mean, who is giving Chrysler this money at this reduced rate of interest?
So it's all a head fake.
Well, you know, all right. I think it's very dangerous. I think it's very dangerous for the investors in this country, I mean, in this company. I mean, you know, when you think about it, Chrysler right now has an application with the Energy Department for $3.2 billion in what's called retooling. What does that mean? So not only are they refinancing their debt, They're asking the government for more money at the same time.
I think they want to retool you with a drill bit in your head. But Jim Anderer, thank you. I'm joking, but seriously, Jim, good stuff. You're a brave soul and a gutsy guy. Well, imagine an environmentalist handing out oil drilling contracts.